All right. You guys are great. Thanks for all showing up. All right, I want you to do one thing for me, if you can hear me. I like you guys, and I know this is corny, but I want you guys to all think that I am about to hand you $20 million. $20 million. And I want you to do this. I want you to close your eyes, play along with me. I know it's corny. And think about what your next week's going to look like. What are you going to surround yourself with? I want you to focus on that. Okay, open your eyes. That is what financial freedom looks like to you, Moses. It looks different for all of us, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about financial freedom and how short-term rentals can get you there. You guys with me? We all on board? All right. I lose power? Okay, who the heck is Al Williamson? Why am I even leading this discussion when Nikki should be leading this discussion? So you guys are gazing at the world's first landlord scientist. And a scientist is needed because landlords aren't making any money before taxes. We make a little bit and it gets knocked out when we paint. We make a little bit and then the water heater breaks and all that money goes, okay? So landlords are broke and no one wants to talk about it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm full-time landlord scientist now. I have 11 short-term rentals that I manage that has replaced my engineering job. I was repairing the Oakland Bay Bridge for a little bit, and now I'm here. I have trained over 287 landlords, helping them transition into short-term rentals. Aaron, tell me your name again. Ethan's here. Thank you for showing up.
You bet.
Okay. So I'm qualified to be here, right? Okay. Let's take a trip. You guys with me?
Yeah.
Let's take a trip back through time. Let's go back. Let's go back all the way to 2007. You guys with me? You guys, 2007? All right. I want you to meet Brian, Nathan, and Joe. Uh-oh, I got a little thing popping up on me. Brian and Joe, they had just graduated from design school in Rhode Island. Give them a round of applause. They just graduated. And they packed their bags and headed to San Francisco, only to find out that their rent is ridiculous, and they are struggling. So they heard that there was a design convention coming to San Francisco, and people were having a hard time finding rooms in the hotels. So they said, why don't we have people stay here? We'll just like a makeshift bed and breakfast. And they put together a website, took action, and they got some mattresses, and they blew them up, and they told their friends about it and posted on forums. And can you believe it? 3 people showed up and paid them $80 each to sleep on the air mattresses and get a bagel the next morning. They knew they were onto something, and they just kept growing with this. This idea had legs. They call their venture Air, Bed, and Breakfast. Let's go forward a year, all right? Do we have anyone who has the sound effects for time travel? Let's go to 2008. It was Barack Obama and John McCain presidential elections. Okay, there was all these conventions all over. There's all these needs for people with a hotel alternative because capacity issues all over the place. So they took their venture around. They were setting people up who had an extra guest room with people who wanted a hotel alternative. And they proved their business plan, but they also accumulated a lot of debt. So they signed up with Y Combinator. And Y Combinator is a seed accelerator, helps you get ready for your first round of funding, okay? And Y Combinator says, yeah, you guys got to clean this up. Got to stop shooting from the hip, and let's get you ready to ask people for some money, but we got to do something about your name. So let's take it and call you Airbnb. And they were very successful coaching them along. They were able to get $2 million of seed funding. Let's go forward to 2012. This is where I get involved. I was the construction manager for the Alcatraz Island solar generation project, this big impressive thing. I was in charge of putting a new roof on the famous prison and all these solar panels that run the island. So I was in San Francisco. I was on Lombard and Van Ness in that apartment for a year. And I heard the project was ending. I gave my 30-day. I heard the project got extended. And I couldn't get my apartment back. So I ended up Airbnb-ing all around San Francisco for 3 months and had a blast. It was a fun time. Airbnb was just hockey sticking up. Right, Nikki? In 2012, it was just really on a blast. So I had a good time. I need my sound effects, people. Let's go to today. Here's the situation. We got J.W. Marriott, a guy who served root beer to thirsty tourists in Washington, D.C. A very entrepreneurial guy. Started the Marriott Hotel 1957. Nowadays, they got 1.1 million rooms under management per night. That's a lot, right? That's a lot. They are the largest physical hotel chain in the world. And they're in 101 countries. That's pretty impressive, right? Alice, is that impressive?
Oh, yeah.
And along comes little chumps from Rhode Island, young little guys, Airbnb, not even 10 years old yet. Not even 10 years old. 1.5 million rooms under management per night. And they're in 191 countries, that's nearly twice as many as the Marriott. What do you guys think of this data? That sums it up. What do you think of this trend? Anyone?
It's impressive. It's skyrocketing.
It's skyrocketing? Can you guys see the friction that's going on?
Keeps going.
What do you think? You think it's a temporary trend?
It's not a direct competitor, though.
Not a direct competitor? But you see something's happening in the marketplace.
Well, they're growing a market that didn't exist.
Yes. They're growing the market. So things are shifting. Things are shifting. One thing I want to point out, because no one told me this when I was that employees, when we were trying to advance, we get degrees or certificates and stuff. When you're an entrepreneur and you're going towards financial freedom, you get coaching. No one ever told me that. So I want to point that out. I want to share that out. Airbnb got coaching. They were design students. There's no way they could do this on their own. Okay? They had other people mentoring them along. Lots of landlords are jumping in because of this trend. Nearly everyone knows it's kind of a good idea to have. Right, Diana? She's jumping in. But people are messing up when they're jumping in for landlords, because we may have Daisy. Daisy may have an extra room in her house, her big house. Where do you live?
Here.
Here in San Francisco. She has extra room. Any money that she makes from that guest room is going to help her pay your mortgage. So all money is good money for Daisy, who's sharing her home, right? Then we got Paul, or Raul. Raul, he has a second home that he and his family use summers. You guys use in summers and Christmas time, right?
Yeah.
And they enjoy the heck out of it. The rest of the year, they have an Airbnb and guests. So all that money that Raul makes from Airbnb kind of reduces his personal semi-business. You guys with me? But Vince is a landlord. Okay? So Vince has a totally different mindset. He's like, I like the Airbnb only if I can make more money than a traditional landlord. Okay? See, there's a benchmark now. He has a different thinking process than everyone else. Okay? So how would it be if Moses is a short-term rental provider doing all this extra work, guests, writing reviews, answering questions, and him and Vince compare notes at the end of the year, and they make the same amount of money? How is Moses going to feel? If he makes the same amount of money on a net income as Vince did, who's a passive landlord, how's he going to feel?
Like he failed.
Yeah, because the reason is because he has to make more money, a short-term rental provider on a net income. Robert, thank God you're here.
Sorry.
On a net income level, let me get over here. A short-term rental provider has to make more money than the net income of a traditional landlord. You guys follow that? Okay, that's important. That's worth the cost of admission. More valuable than the free pizza and beer. is you got to understand that. Otherwise, you're going to be very embarrassed, and you're probably going to quit when you realize that you made a lot of money. You bragged about it on Bigger Pockets, but when you took all those expenses off, the insurances, the cleaning, and everything, your final nut is not that impressive. If you're not managing for net income, you got to make we're going to talk about that. That's super important. The definition of profitability is really, if I can get this thing to hit now, it's really a horse race, okay? And if you are an elite jockey, you keeping your eye on who's in second, right? You're not just running full out. If you're running full out, you got to know where the second place is, okay? Because the market changes. This red represents the long-term rental market, traditional landlord, okay? That market can change in a year. Your rents can change in a year, okay? And if your rents change and it's more profitable for you to do long-term rentals or furnished rentals, then you need to know that, right? Because we're worrying about our net income. That's what I'm trying to get at. You're racing. Your goal is, the green jockey, blue and green, is to win by 4 or 5 horse lengths. You want your net income, not your gross, but your net income to be far greater than a traditional landlord's net income. Did I hammer that down enough? I really want you guys to get that, because I've had a lot of awkward conversations with hosts when I ask them those questions. Well, how's your net? I don't even know. This is my experimental rental property in Sacramento. I told you I was a landlord scientist, right? It's a regular looking apartment complex, 8 units. But the thing is even though it's a regular looking goose with 8 units, it cash flows as if it's 24 units. And that's what I'm going to share with you. That's why I can be home watching my daughter's wiggly tooth come out, is because I focused on it, and I'm going to share that with you guys. This is 5 years worth of research. This will keep you from ever being broke if you understand it. Daisy, if you can understand this, you can buy all the fancy shoes that you want. Okay? Understanding this can help you guys walk away from your jobs. Let me show you what it is. All these are different ways to operate a rental or a dwelling. You can see I have a plan A, is corporate housing. Plan B is a private dormitory. I'll explain that. Plan C is flexible term furnished rentals, which means Airbnb, VRBO. Furnished, you're reflecting the time span term, okay? But you can also say, I'm flexing it for pets, I'm flexing it for horses, I'm allowing people to smoke in my unit, I'm setting up for motorcycles. You're flexible. You don't say no. You don't say no to people. You say yes, and this is how much it's going to cost you. I'm going to accommodate you, right? Diana, isn't that the way you do it in hospitality? You accommodate people, right? All right. So, plan F, stupidest thing you can do with a rental property is leave it vacant. You're just losing money, right? No one wants to do it. You guys, we're all on the same page? Yes. Okay, now I'm going to insult some people. The second stupidest thing you could do is conventional landlording. It's the least profitable thing you could possibly do with your rental property. That's why you're broke, landlords. That's why you don't want to spend any money, because you're operating on this low level, which was the best you can do. It was the best you can do, but it's not anymore. We have the internet now. Okay? If you just furnished your rentals, you can make 30% more. Just by adding furniture. Okay? There's a whole market for just long-term furnished. If you do flexible term rentals, Airbnb and things, you can pretty much count that you can make $300 to $500 more than you would, even if you're just average. You can pretty much make $300 to $500 more per month. I'm talking net income, okay? My whole discussion is going to be net income. I haven't lost anybody, have I? Okay. Private dormitory, that's really peer-to-peer. I don't want to speak too much on that. And corporate housing, renting to businesses and business travelers, one of the highest things you can do I'm talking about the exact same property. I did all this with my 2-bed, 1-bath These are my actual numbers. Okay? Let's, for our time together, let's talk about flexible term rentals and corporate housing. Okay? So, flexible term is Airbnb. That's my plan C. So a lot of people got upset with me when I was in Ohio. I said, I'm not really doing Airbnb right now. They're like, what? We came here to learn about Airbnb? I'm like, and I didn't show them this graph. I lost them. Can you guys see that where the goal is to make the most money is where?
Corporate.
Okay. So I try to do corporate as much as I can, and I backfill with Airbnb. Okay? And if my Airbnb goes bad, I have a safety net. My fallback plan is what? Long-term furnished. I can fall back into safety with that, okay? If it goes to hell, I can fall back to traditional landlording. Traditional landlord is your safety net. It's not where you're supposed to be operating from a landlord scientist. My goal here is to make you guys money, okay? So I'm going to, for the sake of time, because you only gave me an hour, I'm going to cut through all the political stuff and just tell you what the actual truth is, because I've been a landlord for 21 years and I've talked to people all over the country, so I'm just going to tell you what I think. Okay, let's get into it. That's all the background to help you understand what I'm going to talk about. So there's a different definition of profitability, yes? The profitability we're talking about is that margin, that span beyond a traditional landlord, what they're making net income. Are we all on the same page?
Yep.
Okay, that's the only thing that matters. Okay, I got 3 secrets to help you. I want to make sure you guys get your money's worth. And where is Gloria? Is she falling asleep on me? Gloria, where are you?
I'm sleeping.
Oh, there you go. Make sure. She is working on that pizza. I was trying to make sure she's. Secret number 1 is that you can create a housing vending machine. How's that sound? That sound crazy?
Sounds good.
Housing vending machine? I've been saying that for years. You guys are glazed over. You're like, what? Secret 2 is that you can easily triple your net income. Easily, if you're focused on it. All right? From a landlord standpoint. Secret number 3 is Airbnb is so much more than just an app on your phone. The marketing power, the artificial intelligence in the palm of your hand is incredibly powerful. And I'm just going to show you a few things. And I can talk to you more if we have time. But, Chris, he's so big, and Ryder's all buff. They're going to run me. They're going to run me off. So I'll try to make it fast, and then we'll open up for questions. Yes?
Have you looked at more than just Sacramento? Like, what other markets have you studied?
So I study all over in Australia now and Sweden now, all over Dallas. My clients are all over. DC, everything, all through. I just got back from Ohio. I've been in Indianapolis. So I'm not a guru, but I do talk all over the country. And then Ethan, do I get into your business?
Do you get in my business? Yeah.
I get into their business pretty closely.
Al convinced my wife to let us rent the house in our neighborhood, and we're going to make amends on it.
But I dig into everybody's business, so I know their market. Okay. That's why I'm not a guru, because I call people up. Okay. So you can have a housing vending machine if you do this magic thing, and this is so important, if you put your systems in place. Got to have your systems in place. And I'll tell you why. Let's use an example of a gumball machine, okay? Now, if it's Michelle?
Marie Chalet.
Marie Chalet. She sees this gumball machine, and she sees the product that it displays, and then she goes over to it and she puts her coins into it, and she handles the financial matters, right? Marie Chalet, you're going to put a real quarter in it, not a slug, and she's going to dispense the product, okay? Right? She's doing all this work. What is the owner of this vending machine doing? Right, so relax. So who's doing all the work? The customer, right? So that's the mindset I want you guys to have about Airbnb. Has all these systems in place. It shows what you're selling, and it accepts payment, dispenses a product, and this is where you get involved when restocking and turnover. That's you as the owner. That's when you really want to pay attention. Wake up, okay? Let's apply that mindset to housing. Let's do that. So now you can display your product on Airbnb, VRBO, all these online travel agencies. We can do that now. Pretty pictures, right? Pictures are super important. And the customer sees it. The customer puts in their payment information, right? You as the host don't do anything, right? Gloria, am I telling the truth? Okay, she nodded. Dispensing is where people screw up. This is what I want you guys to pay attention to. They think, oh, we can just add a key box, because realtors have been doing key boxes. People have been letting themselves in for years, right? Nikki, how do you let people in? They let themselves in? What do you use?
Keypad.
Keypad. So there's all kinds of fancy things about keypads and different things, but people think that's the end of dispense, but that's the very beginning of dispense. Dispense goes all the way through to that person checks out and gives your dispensing housing their entire stay, okay? And people have to have their systems in place to handle that so they don't get phone calls. Because remember, for vending machine, you're supposed to, Michelle Chalet, she was doing all the work, and the owner was relaxed during dispense, right? Do you guys remember the example? Are you guys going to talk to me or what?
Yeah.
Okay, so our goal is to be relaxed during dispense and have all of our systems in place. We should get involved for turnover and making sure our quality control was busy. So dispense is where people mess up all the time. Jay says he would have made another 100,000 and retired 2 years. Oh, you guys feel bad for him? He's like 35. I would have retired 2 years earlier if he would have listened to me. Because I gave him some advice. I said, Jay, you're doing all these quick turns, 2-day stays here and 3-day stays here. You got to go long term. Focus on your net income. He's like, oh no, I don't know, Al, if I can work. I don't know if I can work. I'm like, you got to do it. There's all kinds of ways of doing it. And he did. And he is working on his bucket list. Can you play that? Can you click the arrow? This one of his things on his bucket list is, there you go. Boom. Boom. Boom.
Narrate it.
Boom. Well, anyway, he's launching lanterns in Thailand wearing flip-flops. That's one of his bucket lists. Because he's got 21 of these housing vending machines, and he went long-term, so he's doing month-long stays at a time, so he can manage them all. Okay? Anyone want a housing vending machine? Sound good, like a good thing? Okay. So who wants to be a digital nomad? Anyone want to be a digital nomad? Well, I got a workbook for you guys, and then this workbook helps you design the process of dispensing. And I was going to give it away. It's on a thumb drive. Anyone want this?
I do.
But I want you. Who's going to use it? I want only hands that you're going to use it. Okay, let me get John. All right. So it has a bunch of stuff about dispensing and avoid calls and how to get reviews. You guys got to think through that, okay? How to get reviews. That's the whole process of it. Okay. Oh, I got to come back over here, don't I? All right. Secret number 2. You guys ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. So remember that the time machine's in park. We're just going to go through these and we're going to keep moving forward. You got to focus. Now, Airbnb, you guys heard of Superhost? Superhost is kind of gamified, right? Nikki, am I right? Not gonna call bullshit on me?
That's true.
It's gamified so that you have a large gross income, so Airbnb can take that 3%. That's only self-interest, right? I would do the same thing. But they want you to focus on your gross, but you need to focus on what?
Yeah.
So it's a completely different way of thinking. That's why there needs to be more conversations with investors that say, think about your net, not this gross thing. If there's companies that will manage your properties for you, sophisticated managers that do all kinds of on-demand pricing, just like airline tickets. And they take 20 to 30% of your what? Your gross. So they're going to manage for your high grosses. Your net income is on you. No one's really caring about your net. It's hard to say that. They don't really care about your net. They care about how much they can get out of you. And they deserve it too, because they bring a lot of value to you. But I'm just sharing with you, focus on your net. This is Adam. He's in Oklahoma, Tulsa. He is a house flipper, and he uses Airbnb. Why are you over here, sis, by yourself? We want you part of the crew.
I am part of the crew.
Okay, all right.
My nose and my phone is charged.
Okay.
My ear is here. My
All right. We're good. Okay. So Adam's flipping. He likes to do. He uses Airbnb to after he finishes a house, he stages it and uses Airbnb to cover his holding costs until he can sell at his time when he wants to sell at his price. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So he contacted me and said, Al, I need help with this. And we started doing that. I was coaching him a little bit. And I was like, you got to go longer term. You got to stop. He likes the activity of flippers. Any flippers in here? You guys like the rush of it? It's good money, but it wears you out. So I said, go longer term. And he did. And now he has his rentals. They're making, one rental is making 4 years worth of income. So it's a net income. So one property is equivalent to 4 properties. You guys follow that? That's one reason I'm able to make my 8-plex cash flow like a 24-unit place. So he's now making, this is $700 is unheard of in Oklahoma. That's a lot of money. Here's Chad. Chad is he's in Oklahoma too. Chad is a realtor. He's a flipper. He's also a full-time pastor, but not a well-paid pastor. He knew that if he ran his places as a regular landlord, he's not going to have any money to feed his family with. He needed money he could spend, not money to put in reserves like regular landlords. Am I being too harsh about that for regular landlords? The money you guys know, landlords, you know what a reserve fund is, right? But we don't, honestly, we don't put money in our reserve fund. And when something breaks, we hit our credit cards and say, oh, we'll pay it off in 3 years. Or we'll write off on our taxes. But you have to fund your reserve fund. Okay? No one wants it. I know it's a sour topic. Chad knew that. He needed money to spend. So he got with my friends and got me to go to breakfast with him when I was in town. And I went to his properties and I talked to him about it. And we said, Chad, let's make up a plan. We came up with a plan. And we started him off with short-term stays. And then we do this thing that I call niche rentals. We go target businesses. So there happens to be a professional baseball team in Oklahoma City. They are business travelers, yes? So we did a courtship with them and brought them, their families, grandma, and everyone travels with them to his places. That's why he's able to make one property equal 5 house. One house equal the income of 5 rentals. But it's better because he has one roof, one set of property taxes. See how good that is? One set of sewer line for tree roots to get in and clog it up. It's so much simpler, so much more profitable. It's a different way of doing the math. Right now we say, oh, I need 100 rentals. I need 100 rentals to retire. That's the old math. Now you can get a multiple return on one property. Is that good?
Yeah.
You guys with that? Would you guys rather have just a few properties generating you want the cash flow, you don't want the properties.
But is that as passive as having 100 rental units?
So he's on 6 months and 8-month leases.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it a multiple?
It's just a house.
Or is it single?
It's a house. Houses was, and I'll talk to you guys about it later, the magic of business travelers. I'm going to save it. I'm going to tease you guys with it. I'm going to tease you with it. And we're going to talk about it a little bit later. I'm not going to do that. But anyway, just so you know I'm not bullshitting, because Nikki's right here. I said, Chad, you got to put this down. I sent him a text, said, Chad, how much would you be making if you weren't doing short-term rentals the way I was telling you? Something like that. Or if you were operating as a traditional landlord. He said one of his properties, he would have just made $200 a month, but he's now making $800 to $900 net per month. Then he says his second property, he would have barely broken even. Barely broken even. He's now making $1,000 net per month in the Rust Belt, in the Bible Belt. Okay? So you guys can do much better here in San Francisco and Bay Area, California. Here's my secret, and this is not to brag. I just wanted to benchmark me. How am I able to replace my 25-year engineering career with just an eightplex? It's because each unit makes $1,000 of net income. That's how I can do it. I'm not making as much money, but it's a whole lot easier, and it's enough for me to watch the wiggly tooth come out. Okay? So you guys can too. Would that help you guys with an extra $1,000 a month? Help you take care of your families, Alice?
Oh, yeah, I'm texting my mom right now.
Take care of her family? Okay, let's move on. Oh, I highlighted it there. You guys want larger spreads? Here it is. This is so exciting because I remember I had pulling over on the side of the road when this happened. You guys want larger spreads? Do you want to make more, make more, everything? Oh, I'm going to go off track if I talk about that. But someone's just been just blowing my mind with this about spreads. You guys want larger spreads? You want to make more money? Okay. People using Airbnb, Nikki, I need you to back me up, are generally in two buckets. They're either tourists or they're travelers. Okay? Would you agree with that? Okay. Tourists, they have their own agenda. They're paying out of their own pocket. Okay? Travelers have businesses paying for them. Okay? So who is going to help you make more money? Who? Diana, I hate to bring this to you. I'm just trying to help you understand the money part of it, though. You're going to enjoy your time with the tourists, but you're going to make your money with the travelers. You guys see that? Who here is a business traveler on per diem, has per diem? Okay. Do you get to pocket any difference that you get? If you get a cheaper room, do you get to pocket the difference between your allowance and that? No? Okay, some people don't. So, what's your nightly allowance?
It depends on the city.
Okay, say San Francisco.
Around 300.
Around 300, okay. And tell me your name again. You don't have to use your name tag, man.
Danny.
Danny. Danny can't pocket the difference. Danny doesn't give a shit if this place costs $300 a night, okay? If someone gives Danny his Starbucks gift cards and things, he will take it all the way up to $2.99 per night. You see? A tourist would never do that. A tourist, you guys get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's a whole different mindset. As someone who's been traveling, overseeing bridge construction, this is really important. This can make you guys a lot of money. You guys see that? Mm-hmm. All right, I want you to make sure you get that. I wrote a guide because I was always in hotels. I was always in places away from my family as a bridge construction person. And it goes the whole mindset about how to attract business travelers. Who would use that? I got a computer module. No, it's actually a PDF. Right here. Anyone want that? I want you. Are you going to use it? I'm going to go this way. I'm going to give it to a lady this time. Sure. Are you going to use this? I'm going to go to her. Are you going to use this for good?
I'll make sure she uses it.
Okay. All right. This is important. Did you know 36%? You guys say 36% because I want this to sink in. Say 36%. 36%. Of all the travel in the U.S. is for people staying 1 to 6 months. Ah, you guys got it. Isn't that juicy? Can you see what this could do for you? Do you get it? How can you relax when this is on? How can you be relaxed? This is just 36%. There's plenty of business to be doing longer term stays. Why do these quick stays, you should leave that for people who are sharing their homes. Yeah. They do that the best. Go for the longer stays so that you can launch lanterns like Jay. Okay? Does that help anybody? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Oh. Nurses. These people, the Gallup poll says, for 15 years straight, the Gallup poll has ranked them as one of the most honorable and trustworthy. These are great people. Any nurses here? I married a nurse. Oh, you guys are awesome. And you know what? Look at her. Would you guys want her as your tenant?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You guys would be jumping over yourselves. Oh man, I debate whether to give this away. But they have travelers have housing allowances that could pay for hotels equivalent to. There's a lot of details about that. As long as there's a baby boomers, what trend is the baby boomers doing? Which direction are they growing? The number of baby boomers growing?
Yes.
So, yes?
Yeah.
So the demand for travel nurses is going to go what? Okay. You guys are catching it. There's over 100,000 of them. That's an old number in the U.S. right now. And if you get them, like I get them, you are on easy street. Your place is probably cleaner when they leave. All right? I interviewed a bunch of travel nurses. I housed a bunch of travel nurses. I love travel nurses. I know what they need. I know everything about them. I've been doing it for 4 years. I even went to the UC Davis Medical Center directly. I put together a computer module of it. I'm going to go to this side of the room. I'm going to go to this side. If anyone on the couch wants it, that teaches you exactly how to get them, how to attract them, how much they can afford. Only people who are going to actually use it on this side. You're going to use it?
Yeah, I live right around the corner by Kaiser.
You're going to reuse this.
Yeah.
You're going to make a fortune with it. Or are you going to try to make a fortune with it?
I am going to make a fortune with
All
it
right.
next month.
All right. All right. Good. Because this is incredible. But here's the thing. I want to make sure, because when I talk to this, people, only travel nurses. This is just a fraction of the digital nomads, traveling professionals. Which way do you guys think digital nomads are going? Yeah. There's linemen who are repairing transmission lines. There's in the healthcare professionals, there's physical therapists, there's doctors, all this medical. And then you have construction managers like myself traveling. What I want to say, Alice, can you move over so I can see you? Don't waste your good looks. I don't see you very much. Okay. So the opportunities are as large as the sun. I want to make sure you guys understand that. The opportunities of the type, it's like, I want you, when you go to an extended stay America, can you classify all the people who stay there? No. Okay, so I want you to keep your minds wide open. Don't just think travel nurses. Okay? That's how we found the professional baseball team, is by keeping our minds open and looking at our data and going through this process. Is that good, Daisy? You counting your money already?
Yes.
Moses, you got something?
A lot of IT contractors.
A lot of IT contractors, that's right. Absolutely. It's unlimited. So it's a process of keeping your eyes aware to it. You guys ready for secret number 3? How am I doing on time? Am I putting you guys to sleep?
You have 2 hours.
I know, Chris is big and Ryder's buff. They're going to kick me.
5 minutes.
I got 35 minutes?
25.
25, okay. Oh. So everything is, because my mind's blown about, not by what I understand. I have a mentor helping me out who he wrote the book called The Wealthy Code and the Banker Code. He talks all about arbitrage, and he's like, Al, it's not the brick and mortar that's making you money. It's not that real estate that's making money. It's the financing. It's the difference between the financing on it and how much people pay you. It's the arbitrage. So you can do that with, let me stay to this, because this is enough. This is enough. Who wants to get rid of their job? And everyone else loves their job or work for themselves? Because I heard there's a lot of people that love their jobs here. So that's good. So I want you guys who want to get rid of your jobs to pay attention, real close attention right here. Okay, this is going to be better than the pizza. The pizza is good. What is rental arbitrage? Okay, there's a difference between the money that you can make in the long-term market and the money you can make in the short-term market, right? There's a difference. You can do an arbitrage. The amount that comes in and the amount that goes out, you can keep the difference, okay? So you rent a regular dwelling, whatever it is, from a traditional, conventional landlord, like Alice's mom. Yeah? And there are people who have a lot of money, they're just parking their money in real estate and aren't interested in the cash flow. They just want to preserve wealth, okay? You guys all agree with that? Yeah. Then, have you guys heard of a wrap mortgage or a master lease and things like that? So don't get stuck on the sublease clause. You negotiate the sublease clause. You just deal with it. Okay, I can walk you through it, but let's not get wrapped up in it. You can deal. It's just another thing that you negotiate, right? You're my amen corner, sister. You gotta say yeah. Okay. So negotiate the sublease clause. You guys with me right here? You put your own furnishings in it, so you're adding value to someone else's property. Okay? And then you go market it on all of the short-term rental platforms, the online travel agencies, so that you're trying to attract people who are going to pay you a lot more than what you're paying. You guys agree? Yeah. Just like the bank loans out your money for a lot more than they pay you. And they keep the difference. That's arbitrage. So what happens, you market it out there, and cha-ching, you keep the difference. If you bring in 2 and you pay out 1, you get 1 for yourself, right? I'll let you guys think about that. This is arbitrage. Who thinks San Francisco is expensive? This works in San Francisco. Okay? But it's better than that. It's better than that because if the roof leaks, who pays for the maintenance?
Oh, yeah.
Why are landlords broke? It's because of the maintenance. Get it? You guys are the reserve fund. You guys get the cash, not the maintenance. You get all the benefits of rental property without the downside. You get the milk when you don't have to worry about the cow. Daisy, are you getting this? Let's say you get $3,000 in, and you pay this guy, you pay Alice's mom $1,000. You keep the difference. Okay? This is a company that I'm starting with a friend of mine. It's called Easy Corporate Housing in Sacramento. Do not come to Sacramento and try to compete against me. I will crush you. Okay? Do not come to Sacramento. I am serious about that. I don't even speak in Sacramento anymore because of this. What we're doing is, my heart is that I want to take someone who's flat broke and take them all the way up to a $10,000 monthly distribution. That's my life, my next goal in my life. Okay? So Diana, you're talking about, can you make it on $10,000 a month? I'm going to do it for you in 2 years. You don't need 10 years anymore. Okay? So how does it work? It's that arbitrage building block. That building block. We put some money into a bank account. We find someone who's going to rent us a property. We furnish it and everything. We let the profits build up until we can get another one. We don't take the money out. Okay? You do this while you're hanging on to that job that you want to get rid of. You live on your job income. You keep that going. You guys follow what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, and there's some ninja stuff in here I'm not showing you, but you guys can understand. You let 2 build up, and then you take that income and you get a third. Let those 3 build up, let your profits build up, and you get a fourth. You can follow what I'm saying? So every time you get another one, it's faster and faster and faster. Exponential type of thing. So this my baseline here. This is all net, of course, net income, cash flow. Says in 24 months, we'll be able to, my partner and I will take $10,000 per month, and we'll split it. $10,000, that covers all of our basic expenses.
How many properties are in that portfolio?
This right here is theoretically is 2023. Okay? This is where we are now. We started 6 months ago. You can see I'm I should be making this, but I'm making this. I'm crushing it, right? I'm doing a bunch of ninja stuff. So I'm going to figure it out. I'm actually living through it. I'm not just talking about it. I'm probably going to bring on signing for another one tomorrow. I'm living through it. Why? What's the difference between coaching and mentorship? I'm short on time, but let me tell you.
Mentor does the work himself first.
Yes, mentor does the work himself. You know, Michael Jordan has a coach, right? There's no way that coach can do what Michael Jordan can do, right? But a mentor has done it themselves and can show you what's going on. So I wanted to be a mentor. That's why I had to leave my cushiony home. I'm still there. But I want to show you that you can't do this while you're hanging onto your job. Guys, does this help anybody?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So rental arbitrage, that's what it is. I do it myself. I put it all together in a little computer module. Shows you about the subletting and all the what to say, the mindset that you need to be in. Because you're going to hear no. People are going to say, hey, can I rent your place? And you're going to say, hell no. And you got to pick yourself up and go do it again. So there's a mindset thing. There's all kinds of stuff going on. I got a module of it I was going to give away to someone who, first, if you really don't like your job, raise your hand. And if you're really going to use this, you know, you're so aggressive, I'm going to give it to you. You like really hate your job. All right. Okay. So that can set you free. You guys can see that. I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to hit it in 18 months. That's my goal. So that'd be $5,000 of additional income in 18 months, reoccurring. Is that good? Yeah. Alice, could you make it on that? Yeah. All right. Someone else, too. Okay, let's summarize it. I'm running out of time. You can easily have a housing vending machine. You got to have that mindset. If you don't have a housing vending machine mindset, you can't do rental arbitrage. You can't handle 24 of them. Or Jay's doing 21 of them, right? I'm going to, remember how I do my math? I'm probably going to bring it down to 18 to 16 of them.
How's it possible to do that much just hour by hour task work and still keep a job?
Because you're doing longer term leases. That everything hinges on this focusing on your net. Okay.
Now, do you own the properties or are you renting?
Rent them.
Yeah.
I'm over ownership.
Yeah.
I just own the cash. I just want the cash. I don't need the status of having a lot of rentals. Ethan may need it. It's very impressive when you say you have 100 rentals, but you don't have any. 100 traditional rentals means you don't have any money. It means you're broke. That's what it means. That's why they keep your W-2 jobs. Okay, secret number 2 is that you can easily triple your net income, but you got to focus on it. All your decisions got to be about net. And secret number 3 is rental arbitrage can really set you free. Can set you free. You have options now for those of you who want to leave. This is what I couldn't get over. Because I thought, oh, I got a great I was so comfortable with my engineering job, making good money, had impressive portfolio of projects I worked on. I was so comfortable, I was just a slave, comfortable slave. I was literally, you know, when I was on Alcatraz, I was overseeing, had the best view, one of the best views in the world. I was looking at the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco all day long. And I was imprisoned in my mind, and I was sitting in a prison. And I'm like, I was doing all that, and I was away from my family, the things that like I really, remember when we did the exercise, what does financial freedom look like to you? For me, it was just being home with my kids and my wife. So I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Okay. You guys was this helpful to you guys? I want you guys to be able to see. I spent a lot of time in layaway in the airports thinking about all these things.